From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. The first tropical storm of the year could spin up before the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season, kicking off what is predicted to be a dynamic year for hurricanes. Around the middle of May, a large, slow-spinning area in the atmosphere could develop somewhere around Central America, overlapping with part of the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific. Now, this phenomenon, known as the Central American Gyre, can sometimes lay the groundwork for a tropical depression or a tropical storm to take shape. Now, this is the best chance so far this year for the first named tropical storm of the year to develop, both in the Caribbean and in the Eastern Pacific, although AccuWeather meteorologists currently are saying that the odds of development are low. AccuWeather lead hurricane expert Alex De Silva said that we're starting to get into that season where we need to kind of keep an eye out in the Caribbean. At the very least, a wetter pattern down across Central America and then up into the Western Caribbean is expected. Tropical downpours could cause localized flooding across Central America, Jamaica, Cuba, and other islands across the Western Caribbean. Now, some downpours could also reach South Florida. Where would it go if something develops? Well, if the gyre does spawn a tropical depression or tropical storm in the Caribbean, it is likely to track northeastward. De Silva says that given the pattern, he thinks that the most likely is that it would just cross over Jamaica, Cuba, and then head out to sea. Right now, it does not look like it would be heading towards the U.S. Outside of the traditional Atlantic hurricane season, which runs from June through November, May is the most common month for tropical storms to develop. Since 2015, there have been only 4 years when a tropical system did not spin up in May. Warming water in late spring can set the stage for development, particularly in the Caribbean, the Eastern Gulf, and the Western Atlantic. Additionally, a slow-moving cold front or a dip in the jet stream can reach far enough south and linger long enough for storms to form in those zones. Tropical Storm Bertha was the most recent storm to make landfall in the U.S. in May after it hit South Carolina back in 2020. Now, that came less than 2 weeks after Tropical Storm Arthur made a close swipe along the coast of North Carolina. But the center of the storm never made landfall as it curved out to sea. Now, whether or not a gyre takes shape over Central America could hinge on the jet stream. De Silva explained that essentially what's happening is we're going to be getting a dip in the jet stream to come down into the southeastern U.S. during the middle of May. Now, the question is whether the dip in the jet stream is going to be strong enough and reaches far enough south to initialize the gyre and get it spinning. He added that disruptive winds, known as wind shear, could also be lower, another reason that AccuWeather forecasters are monitoring the region for potential tropical development. Last June, a gyre helped with the formation of Tropical Storm Alberto, which made landfall along Mexico's Gulf Coast shortly after the middle of the month. A gyre also developed near the Western Caribbean in June of 2023, although it did not lead to a named tropical storm. That's all for now. You can find regional forecasts and science-based articles at AccuWeather.com. And for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.